lab is going to be combining what we know about surfaces of the earth and the air masses, um, such as with the previous lab where you compared a hot dry surface and then a cold wet surface, like the cold ocean, and then a cold or a warm ocean as well. Those surfaces, those differences in temperature, differences in humidity, are going to be giving us the weather that we have and the changing weather patterns that we have. So instead of just one convection tube this time, you can see that I have two convection tubes, and they are combined, they're connected together right in the middle. And so they're going to be allowing us to see how temperature of a surface, specifically differences in temperature, so hot versus cold, is going to create the wind that we have for weather. And the wind, as we know, is a very important part of weather systems and moving clouds and things like that. And air movement is huge when we're talking about weather. So right now there is air moving in these convection tubes. It's very difficult to see though. So we're going to be using this as a model of, and we're going to be using smoke with, I'm going to light an incense stick in just a moment. And that smoke is going to allow us to see the air movement in our model. You know, we can't necessarily see this on a grand scale, and so models allow us to take conditions and make them on a level that we can actually see and then experiment with. And so these convection tubes are providing a model of our Earth's surfaces, specifically warm and cold. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to light this punk stick. You need to get a lot of smoke. And then I'm going to stick this punk stick in the cold side. And I'm going to let the smoke, you can already kind of see the smoke is going down. It's sinking. I don't know if this is going to be easier to see or worse. So yeah, and then you can see the smoke is actually going to be going up over to the other side. So it's going to be coming over here, and then I can actually see it coming out the top. So this hot air, right, is less dense. The heat is heating up those particles. They're moving further and further away from each other. And so it's going to be less dense, and we know from our last lesson that less dense things are going to float, they're going to go up. And so these warm air particles above the candle are going to be floating. And we also know that the more dense things are, they sink, right? And so these air particles over here, over the cold, you can see how they are sinking. And because they're connected in the middle, this is going to be the wind that we feel at the surface of the earth. So when we have an air mass that's cold next to an air mass that's hot, that difference in temperature is going to, oh, you can really see that smoke going over and then up. That difference in temperature is going to allow us to, is going to be the wind that we feel. And so this is kind of showing that. I don't know if you can see this, but you can actually see the smoke pouring out of this right here, coming from the cold side. It's pouring out. And so the smoke is going to be sinking over here, going over, and then going up. Again, more dense air is going to sink. As it goes across to the less dense, or to the warm side, this air is then going to heat up and it's going to rise. I can see a ton of smoke coming out the top here. And this is going to be where the wind is felt.